discipline around the things that we will be doing.
Yeah, that's a nice story. Just going back to the soft skills, to what makes us human, and not, like when I think about the education system, it's very connected to our, cognitive capabilities, right? If you could go do coding, do math, do physics, whatever, like this is very important to use your brain. But usually, when you're successful as a person and as a leader within a company, it's connected to you being smart, doing your work really well, but you need so many soft skills and
Yeah,
capabilities which are usually not considered, even not even talked about during your educational years, and you really need them. You need it really,
absolutely.
really well in a big
Yeah,
company.
that's
You
another
need.
great point to the education system, right? How to
Mhm.
enhance and empower social emotional learning.
Of
And so
course.
just to touch on my fifth point on these top five principles is making other people shine. And besides that, this is a great thing to do. This also has to do with how do you create a repetitive system? How do you actually create a new culture where you're not just forcing, a few innovations through a system, but otherwise leaving it sort of in havoc and flames? How do you make sure that the second time and third time around, everybody in the organization want to help and potentially even more? And so this is about making sure that everyone that was involved in the project is celebrated, but even also those that initially gave you assistance. Make sure that they also win from this project if it is successful, so that everybody will say, "Hey, that was a great experience. Let's get back and support them again." So just a very brief example of that as well. One of the projects we were running at Lego, we we were doing, it was a physical digitally integrated product. It was the first time we did it. We had to sort of pull a lot of favors from a lot of people across the organization. And if you imagine, they had to do this on top of their existing day job. So,
Yeah.
using a weekend, etc. So we knew we had called a lot of favors and extra work to do this in a very short time. So when it launched and it was quite successful, we decided somehow we need to give something back to these people. And so, and there was a funny sort of built character in this game that you could build with Lego bricks. And so we built him, this guy called George. We built the guy physically and put him on a small pedestal. And in a way, it looked like sort of an Oscar statuette. And then we gold paint sprayed the bricks. So it looked like, a golden Oscar statuette, but only of this
Mhm.
guy. And then a small text would say out front, George says you're awesome. We would wrap it in a very nice package and place that on the desks of all those maybe 30 or 50 people that really helped us out at night. So the next morning when they came, they found this package, opened it, saw this statuette that says, George says you're awesome, thanks for all the help. And besides making these people really happy, and it did, it had a strong emotional
Yeah.
effect, they started taking pictures of this and putting on the intranet in the company. And, sooner or later, the story came out, when you're helping these guys in the innovation department, they really appreciate it, and it sort of it became a very strong symbol for that. And it was such a simple thing. It cost us nothing. It took us a few hours to do this, but it meant, tremendously much.
Yeah, that's really a nice. Like I could imagine building these small. It seems like I need to go and working with Lego. It's like building things, being creative, having fun. It sounds really great. So we're almost done. I have so many other questions, but maybe we should do it again. So I want to thank you for your time, and I want to ask you, how could people hear more about your work and contact you with the Diplomatic Rebels?
Sure. Yeah. So basically, we do two main things in Diplomatic Rebels. We help individuals, intrapreneurs that are working in large corporates, and often they feel a little, like lone wolves, isolated, alone, frustrated. So we help them through training, but also we have run a global network of experienced entrepreneurs that we call the Diplomatic Rebels Fellowship. So people can join that. And then on the other hand, we also help companies build that capability to run entrepreneurial teams. So what is the right structure, the right processes, the right culture, the right type of leadership? And so if you want to understand more about this, go visit diplomaticrebels.com, or you can reach out to me personally at david@diplomaticrebels.com.
Sounds great. I would need to hear more about that. So thank you, David, for your time. It's been really insightful and fun to be with you. So thanks.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure. Absolutely.
And to all of you change makers out there, thank you for joining us. And if you want to hear more about what I'm doing, go to invincibleinnovation.com. And I'll see you next week with another innovative, insightful talk. See ya.